BS.
June to Gerald there. One day he will actually be there. I promise.
Okay, there you go. Where your modem is acting all.
Oh no!
It was ping ponging. So yes, we lost you there for a second.
Man. All right. Well,
now
let me try this again. Hold on. All right. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Sorry, I was trying to load up a web page here, and I think
that'll teach you.
I know, right? Don't open that browser. What's up, everyone? Gerald, I'm sorry, man. I keep meaning to add you into that video there. So everyone, just pretend you saw Gerald there. You know, one day he will actually be there in that video in his full animated form, and he probably won't suffer as bad of a fate as Brank did, but it's okay. I know how to do. I can cast Rise on him, and he will come back to life. Anyways, I'm Jank the Despised One, also known as Josh Peterson, as the name my mother gave me at birth, and I am joined here by Gerald Glassford. What's up, man?
I have a feeling that the pop culture cosmos is slowly bleeding into the Super BS, whether you guys like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's we're all one family, man.
But I do want to mention Joe Soro, who is here in our chat now. He happened to has a game that he is funding or helping to fund, Corrupt, on Steam. That's coming out on the 22nd. That's going to be out and available for everyone out there. It's COREUPT if you want to wish list it right now. Excellent fighting game from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, we will have a review of it on the Super BS Gamescast, right, Gerald? All of us.
I hope so. I'll see if I can do a bit. I know a guy that knows a guy, so let's hopefully be able to get some codes on that. But I will say, though, for Corrupt, it absolutely just a virtually one-man show for the, as far as the indie developer is concerned, doing this and creating an environment for the fighting genre that, again, it's not a $70 or $80 price point. It's something that's going to be reasonable for people to get into, and I highly encourage people to get into it as far as Corrupt is concerned. So,
all right, so let's talk about games that we've been playing here for a minute. So two things. One, I got to the end. Remember, I told you I was playing Porcupine Falls on Xbox. I talked about that a little bit. So I got to this part, like it's one of the most well-written indie games that I am completely incapable of finishing, because I got to this one part and you have to go every time you leave the map to go to the next part of the game, it crashes. Like there's no fix for it. It's just like a game-killing bug that is there. I've uninstalled the game, reinstalled it. I kept doing the part over and over again. There's only one way in and out of this. It's during this like festival thing where your character's walking around like solving puzzles and stuff, and you leave this area, and every time the screen just goes to black, and the game crashes. And this is not the first time this has happened to me. The other ones, there's been like little workarounds. I could take the stairs instead of the elevator or whatever when you're in the hospital. But I don't know why they don't fix this, because like I went online and to see if I was the only person suffering from this problem, and there are a ton of people. So you think as a developer you'd be looking at like the feedback of your game, or even going onto like Reddit and seeing what people are saying about it, but apparently they're not. So like I have this game, I really want to finish playing it, but I can't, and it is really, really bothering me. Like I can go and buy it on Steam and like maybe it'll work there, but I don't want to reinvest the 5 hours I've already put into it.
I don't blame you, my friend. Yeah, it's something where the developer needs to be more aware of their situation, or maybe they are, just don't want to say anything about it. But it's always better as a developer to be up front saying, hey, we are aware of the issue and we're trying to work on it, even if they have no clue how to fix it. At least they should try to put out some type of damage control on it as far as it's concerned. So
Yeah, yeah, you think you would, but I don't know if this is just not maybe they're over the game, but I mean it's gotten pretty good traffic on Games Pass. So if you're I don't know, maybe other people have played it and been able to finish it, but it's just I'm a completionist, and you know this about me. Like I have that story OCD, so I need to see the end of it. So it's really like I feel like there's a piece of me that's been carved out, and I can't fill it with the rest of that story. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. Other thing I've been playing here is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and I know
as
you've
have
been
I.
playing this game as well. So I am 3 missions in. Game looks spectacular. Let me just
Yes.
say, like, it is truly a beautiful looking game in a like very dark sort of way, you know, and compared to a lot of the other shooters that have been out over the past couple years. Like, you know, it's like shooters have gotten really cartoony
Yes.
lately, but Call of Duty is this is the first Call of Duty game I play in a while. I'm playing the campaign right now. I haven't jumped into the multiplayer, and I know Brian was saying, what was it last week, that you have to be careful how you're installing the game because you could end up with if you don't check which ones you want to install, you can end up with over 300 gigabytes of Call of Duty games installed.
Mhm.
There's like Modern Warfare 3 and a couple other ones, and you have to install like the zombies and multiplayer stuff all separately.
Exactly. It'll fill
Um,
up your hard drive if you don't watch out.
really quick. And so anyways, yeah, I mean I installed yeah, I didn't realize that until after I installed it. So I got this big eye to erase a bunch of stuff off my hard drive. I need to just break down and get a one of those portable hard drives here one of these days. But Call of
Black Friday.
I know it's coming up. It's coming up. I need to get. I think like Seagate still makes the Xbox. Sorry, the Xbox Series X drives, don't they?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so yeah, maybe I'll see if I can grab one of those. So, anyways, like I'm sitting there playing this, and I gotta tell you, man, I completely forgot how intentionally designed the shooting mechanics are in Call of Duty. Like you look at most of the other games, you have Apex Legends, Halo, you know, all these you know, Overwatch. You just have to shoot within the circumference of the circle. Whereas with Call of Duty, you have to have that red dot directly on the person that you're trying to shoot.
Absolutely. I
So
always look for the scopes that have the red dot because it makes it so much easier for me.
yeah,
I'm about where you're at. I'm taking the slow route. I'm actually making sure I don't miss any safes because you need to get as much money as you can to build up your base of operations. It is
yeah.
really helpful if you do so. Does the game remind you a little bit as far as the way it's structured now, the way it looks now, like Borderlands, where all the when you're, I understand you could always pick up any weapon that you could see lying around, but just the way that the prompts, as you're walking by various weapons or various artillery or various things of that nature, the way it showcases itself and just the way the little prompt comes up, you could quickly run by it if you're not interested in it, but at least you get a look of it. It just reminds me more and more of Borderlands, the way it originally came out. It just had that unique design as far as what games or what type of guns you were looking at using as far as the game. Ooh, do I want this? Do I want that? Sometimes I just stop and I choose which one do I like better. Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
it's less time consuming to have it like that with like the are you talking about like the floating box over the weapon? You kind of read
Yeah, but it's
a little
yeah,
bit
just
about it.
pop. It's a pop up. Comes up immediately and then just goes away if you're just as soon as you're away from it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually really like that. And the characters in this one too are interesting. They're snarky towards each other, but there's also like a level of seriousness to them, which is neat. I again, I haven't played a Call of Duty game since Ghost, so I don't really know what the standard is these days. But I don't know. I think it's pretty well put together thus far.
absolutely, I'm enjoying my time with it. I'm looking forward to actually finishing off the campaign at some point in time before, of course, Stalker 2. I don't think I'll make it. I don't think I'll finish it before Stalker 2 comes out, but I'll try to get to Stalker 2 before Indiana Jones comes out as well. Because now that I got Game Pass, it's reminding me why I enjoy Game Pass so much indeed. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty busy season for gaming coming up here. Because I mean, I still
Mhm.
got I'm playing Visions of Mana still. I want to get Ys Nordics when it comes out, or it's already out. But sorry, when I once I finish Visions of Mana, and yeah, Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle. There's I'm gonna be occupied till Christmas at least with a lot of the rest of the year. And I have this feeling Nintendo's probably gonna end up doing something here soon that's gonna showcase some games coming out at the end of the year. I would hope. Do you think maybe?
I I don't. They would have already announced something, wouldn't they have?
Yeah, because I know Brothership was like the only big release that I know of that's coming out. Because I think there's a Donkey Kong remaster, but I don't know when that's.
Just the Nintendo Music thing, as far as what they've really been talking about lately. That and the Alarmo. So, woohoo! Big deal.
Yeah. Oh, January 16th. So yeah, I mean it's coming out after Christmas, but you'll be able to play it soon enough.
But I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure before we get into the video game adaptations, man, a couple things. We didn't get a chance to do the Cosmos together, so we didn't get an update on Black Friday. But if got to make sure the gamers out there know that Black Friday, it starts now for some of the retailers like Walmart. If you're interested in picking up some stuff early, they've got some deals starting that have started as of with this recording that you might want to be interested. I mean, if you want a Xbox Series X, they've got their new digital edition that they put out there with an extra controller for $489. That's like $110 off. So just some good. It's starting to roll out. The deals are just starting to roll out for gamers out there. So
Yeah, so you got to watch Amazon carefully because they've been doing sales on games, but they're like flash sales, so you got
yeah,
to get them that day. Right now they have Madden and Final Fantasy and yeah, that's it right now. So Madden and Final Fantasy are limited time, 50% off, so you can go pick those up if you're interested in that. God of War Ragnarok's $40. Um, yeah, Gran Turismo 7 sound $40. Assassin's Creed Mirage is 20 currently. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff going on right now. You like I said, your best bet though is to just check these sites weekly or daily because there's a lot of sales that keep popping up and disappearing. I think our plan, right, is to have a more like a list of places to buy things as we get closer to the actual Black Friday sales. So
absolutely. So keep an eye on both our shows, the Pop Culture Cosmos and the Super BS Gamescast, because I think we should be starting dropping some of these prices. The stuff that I mentioned is at Walmart going through the 17th. So I know you're going to post this before then, but also let you know that if people needed like an extra side TV, they're pitching a Hisense 50-inch 4K Roku TV on sale for 138 for 50-inch. So as a separate gaming TV, not too bad. Not
yeah,
too
it can't
bad.
get better than that.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta. Have you been playing anything else besides Call of Duty? Anything you want to talk about?
Right now, just because doing so much now as far as trying to figure out with the shows and all, it is just staying COD. I did, try to take a step back into some of the stuff that I was playing before on Games Pass, like a little bit of the older Dragon Ages, whatnot, because Dragon Age Veilguard is not on Games Pass yet. But I've been also taking a look harder at the Veilguard based off our conversations, both on the Cosmos, uh, uh, but also with Melinda, with you, and then also with Brank as well here on the Gamescast. And I think I might have to buckle down and get it because I'm hearing a lot of really positive things about it. A lot of really positive things about it. And what I've seen from this engine is something I've never seen on the Frostbite engine, because I think this was still Frostbite, even though Mass Effect BioWare said is going to go on Unreal 5. Uh, I,
Yeah.
I'm really hearing good things. I'm not hearing many people talking about crashes or bugs. You talked about bugs with your game. I'm not hearing that with this huge game that a 60, 80, 100-hour game that you have there. I understand that there's going to be no more DLC for it, because they're going straight into work on Mass Effect. But man, it could be a really solid adventure people may want to get into.
Yeah, so Yeah, performance-wise, I haven't heard many things about Dragon Age not performing well. I know when it first came out, there's some bugs with like facial animations. That kind of seems to be par for the course with the BioWare games. Um, but yeah, I mean, the game itself looks great. I was actually reading something. This coming from IGN by Matt Purslow, who is the writer of the
Mhm.
article. But he was saying he wrote this article titled "Dragon Age: The Veilguard is at War with Itself." So I started kind of getting into this and reading it, and it seems like this is a more honest review than what was originally posted. And this he's saying that it's not a bad game, but he's saying there's room for improvement. And he's talking about how they've kind of the I guess developing relationships, not romantic ones, but just kind of developing relationships with the rest of the characters in the game. It's not as it feels more like linear, like it's forced, like there's a path that they want you to take. There's dialogue options they want you to open instead of allowing you to kind of cultivate those relationships yourself, which they did a really good job of in Mass Effect. If you remember the walking around the crew, walking around the ship and talking to your crew, and they actually did
Mhm.
it in Inquisition and Dragon Age 2 really
It's
well.
giving me a lot of Mass Effect 2 vibes as far as
Yeah,
that game is.
yeah. I mean, Mass Effect 2 was kind of more of an experiment, to see like if can we do this and still make people like the game, and it turned out pretty well for the most part, but um that's kind of what this Dragon Age the Veilguard feels like. They were experimenting with a bunch of things. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. I guess we won't know much else about that until they put numbers out and we see how many units sold of this game to really see whether it's a success or not.
I don't
It
know the former, game trailers guys, and from Sifted, they spoke highly of it, and those guys have been in the business for decades. And I don't know. I've heard other videos, and I've seen other videos. I've heard other reviewers speak very highly of the game. And again, from what I've seen walkthroughs, I've seen video playthroughs. It looks like something I might actually want to get into. I wasn't a big, huge fan of Dragon Age. Someone who played, like I said, bits and pieces of it, but I never really stuck with it like you. I I don't know. It's looking pretty strong in my eyes. I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, so this is where I'm at with it. If it goes on sale during Black Friday, I will probably pick it up and try it out and see, because I feel like I can't have a fully fleshed out opinion of this game until I get my hands on it and get in there myself. Because I'm just kind of like looking at here, all this hearsay, and on the internet, I'm seeing people like bash each other in the reviews, and a lot of them are, there's a lot of comeback saying actually play the game before you comment. I'm like, there's kind of a good point to that. But I'm looking right now, as far as like the numbers go, it looks like it has sold as of 4 days ago. It's sold about 500,000 copies, which isn't spectacular, but it literally just came out. So we'll have to see how it looks
Well,
after
we
the
don't
holiday.
know digitally though how much it's sold. That's the problem. Digital numbers are never released to, or rarely released to the public. So you're talking about physical copies. So if you're talking about physical copies, that bridge between physical and digital now may be weighed. What is it? The over 50% now for digital sales. So could be well over a million, 2 million right now. For all we know.
Yeah, I mean, it like I said, it's hard to know. It looks like um on launch day on Steam, it sold about 89,000 copies. So I don't know, man. We'll have to see, after January. Hopefully we'll know more about what the numbers look like. But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to playing it. It's just something I'd have to uh I don't think I'd pay $70 for it. But if it, like I said, if it happens to go on sale on Black Friday, I'll probably pick up a copy so that I can play it and, in a more official capacity be part of the conversation.
Before we hit the main topic, one thing I sent you over the weekend, but we forgot to mention, was we forgot to wish a happy birthday to Halo 2 is now 20.
Yeah, it does not seem like it happened. Jeez, man.
You're old.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Newsflash.
Yeah, it's like those things that pop up on social media that say, "Can you believe this album turned 20?" And I'm like, "No, because I remember buying it on the day it came out." But yeah, Halo 2 was I remember that was my first midnight release event at GameStop. and I remember going there, and they used to do all the that's a culture that will never get back. I think the midnight releases. You go to GameStop. I don't know if did you ever do those at the store you worked at? Did you guys do the
Oh yes, we did a huge one for Halo 3. Absolutely huge. The GTA story I tell for GTA 4, that was during the day, so that was as the morning. But yes, for Halo 3, we did a huge party, and that was like well over 200. I think we got about 400 to 500 pre-orders at that time, and 200 to 300 people were waiting outside for it at one of my stores that I was running in North Las Vegas. So yeah, it was a blast. We had a huge party. We had a guy that dressed up as Master Chief. He was actually a cosplayer that would actually go to events and whatnot, that was paid to do so. I know he was part of, and big shout out to the veterans out there, because we're filming this on Veterans Day, because he was a veteran. So yeah, it was a great time. But yeah, getting back to Halo 2, that was before I got into video game retail sales, and that was just crazy, because I had an original Xbox, absolutely loved my original Xbox, but yeah, getting Halo 2 and getting into that, getting into Xbox Live, that is for me. I mean, I spent quite a bit of time on Modern Warfare, spent quite a bit of time on Gears of War, but no game did I stay with on the multiplayer for longer than Halo 2. That one I was on every night virtually for close to 3 years. 2.5, I'd probably, 2 to 2.5. I'll say that. So it was an amazing experience. I have I know this is not our gaming memory segment, but I'd like to go ahead and throw one. But first, before we go, do you have a Halo 2 memory that you wanted to go ahead and do?
no, I mean, like I said, I well, I don't
Yes,
know if
sir.
there are two or three different versions of the game, but I had the steel case one that had the
Yes.
slip cover,
Hmm.
and I think I still have it in the shelf back there. But yeah, I remember they're doing like raffles and giveaways and stuff like that, and you could win strategy guides and all that good stuff to go with it. But what I do remember with Halo 2, kind of it came out around like the advent of Xbox Live, didn't it? Like that
Hmm.
was because I think that was one of the first Xbox Live games I played, because I got Halo 2, and I got the big fat box that had it had came with the headset, and it had
Yep.
like the code you'd put in, and it was really an exciting time to be a gamer. But yeah, I would sit there and play with my friends. Like we didn't it also, though, it killed me that it kind of ruined the LAN party culture, because everyone was playing from home. They're like, "Oh, it's so cool, we can play from home now instead of going over to your friend's house." So it was the beginning of an era at the expense of ending an old one.
But it was worth it to me, man, because just the experience of playing with people all around the world, trying to see how far you could get as far as your level up is concerned. I never got to 50. I think the highest I got to it is in the mid 30s. I think it was just because, again, with people cheating, unplugging and plugging in their router, and all that stuff was going on there. For every one or two good games you would have in a row, as far as competitive, really fun games, there would be that one game with a cheater in there, and there you go. It's like, oh, ruining everything. But if that's the case, my friend, I tell you what, the best, just so many great maps. That's, I think, it was just such an experience playing it, and so many great maps, so many great environments. But probably the one thing I would say is probably the best thing that came out, or the funniest thing out there. It was like New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, was it 2004? I think 2004 or 2003. No, because it came out 2003, correct? It came out 2003. No, it came
Yeah.
out 20. It came out
Yep,
2004. Sorry, it's 20 years
yep.
anniversary. Duh, Gerald. So it was 2005. It was 2005. It was New Year's Eve. So yeah, we're all playing, and it was not yet midnight in my area. It was like 9 o'clock, but there were people that were playing online uh, that were in other time zones, of course. So we're playing the Ivory Tower. The map that's going up, that spirals up. You go into the tower, and then you spiral up. We're playing the mode that you're taking the bomb and you're trying to put it on the actual spot in the center of this ivory tower, if you remember that.
Okay.
So, and then if you're the other team, you're the other side, you're trying to prevent them from going ahead and planting the bomb and then finishing off that round. So we're playing, and then all of a sudden I hear, because you could hear everybody else's chat. That was the one thing about Xbox Live that was a funny quirk. You could hear everybody else in their chat. So everybody's going on, and there's this one kid, I don't know, maybe about 10, 11, 12, even younger than Cool Bro in our chat right now, that was playing, and he was playing, but all of a sudden he just stopped. His character just stopped because he started celebrating. He said, "Oh, Happy New Year!" And you could hear him singing Happy New Year. So everybody just, instead of trying to kill him, they just ran by him. They just ran by him. So everybody's battling. Everybody's trying to fight for control. Everybody's trying to get the bomb for both red and blue teams. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, while everybody's trying to fight, and all the explosions coming, here comes the kid running out of nowhere, grabbing it, and then as he's planting it, says, "Happy New Year, everyone!" Boom! And then yes, the whole round ended. Everybody blew up. So that was classic. Yeah, just some
Oh.
great moments. I mean, going on Zanzibar, you get on the Ghost, you run in there as fast as you can to grab the flag to get on out of there. Or if you have work with a teammate that gets you at like one of those longer maps, like coagulation or whatnot, you just go, you're driving, you're trying to dodge who's ever shooting at you, and then you're getting in the warthog, and you grab the flag, and you get in the warthog, and you run away. Yeah, that to me was really what it was all about. Big team battles, capture the flag. It was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, I always like the one where you're like in the it looks like a corporate office. It's got the fountain in the middle of it, and it's got the big old like, yeah. I always really like playing that one. That was one I played with my friends a lot. But also you would do like the random playlist, and it always just kind of put you there. That was always seemed to be like the first one they matched you up on. So um yeah, I do have a lot of fond memories of Halo 2. I know there was they redid Hang 'em High, and that was I forget what it was called when it was put back up. What did they rename it, or was it still Hang 'em High?
I think they renamed it. I forget what they renamed it as. I'm looking now, but yeah, I'm just on the fandom, because if you go to fandom halo.fandom.com, it has a listing of all the different maps on there, all 25. Because remember, you could buy the extra map pack. It was like it came, it at that time it was a downloadable, I think, still, but it's also you could get it as a physical copy as far as a downloadable content of extra maps. And yeah, that was just something really cool. Terminal, I remember playing that. That was really Warlock, Waterworks. There was just so many good maps, so many good maps to play. I was a big team battle guy. Were you, Mike, more of like of a smaller group, or were you more interested in playing the bigger, larger team battles?
Yeah, I mean, I played Big Team Battle. I was more interested in playing like the Slayer and Team Slayer stuff, having it just be a bit smaller, because that's what my friends all like to play. Like, not often did we get into a big team battle match because I don't know, it's just what they wanted to play. What was the one with all the shipping containers in it too? You remember what I'm talking about? And they had one, and like there's a certain section of shipping containers that had like the invisible and stuff inside of it, and like there's bridges that connected all these things. You know what I'm
Was
talking
it?
about?
It wasn't District. Was it District?
It might have been District. That sounds familiar. Hold on, let me look. Halo 2
Okay.
District. Let me
Yeah.
see.
I mean, or it wasn't Gemini, because Gemini's in the ship, I think, if I remember, or midship. Yeah, that.
Um,
I'm trying to get,
I'm trying
but
to think.
Ivory Tower was good too.
It was indoors.
It must have been like Gemini
Yeah,
or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Elongation. Does that sound
Yeah,
familiar?
that's. I think that's. Yeah, I don't know if that was that a map on Halo 2. Yeah, elongation. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's that
that
one, and
is.
we like
Yeah, that's the
yeah, and
one.
we played Last Resort. Like that was always a good one too, with the spinning wheel in the middle.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah, I
Um,
remember playing a lot of all of them, man, at one point in time, depending on various ones. Even if it wasn't a big team battle map, I would still just try it out just to see what it was like. So
mhm.
yeah, it's really cool. It was just really a lot of fun, and I remember playing it and being hooked. I remember being at work sometimes and uh, just trying to think of ways I could go ahead and uh, get that flag faster, or try to figure out what I could do on my technique to get up another level or something whatnot. It was crazy, man. It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a great game, and it's definitely sticks out to me as being one of the better Halo entries. I wish that they would have had a campaign, online campaign on that. That would have made it the perfect game, hands down.
Oh well, I'll tell you what though, we did it. I did a coach co-op, coach couch co-op, if I could say that correctly, couch co-op with my roommate at the time, and he and I were playing along. And this is the only flaw in the game. The only
Yeah.
flaw in the game is that the game ends suddenly. So we're playing what was then we didn't know at the time the last level, and he's all, "I'm gonna head to the bathroom." So he heads to the bathroom. I end up, and it just stops. The game just stops. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
to myself, oh crap, what did I do? And all of a sudden he comes out, "What happened, man?" He said, "I think I just finished the game, man."
Oh no, you can't forward motion can't be stopped, man.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah, he, it just stopped. And that's the only flaw in Halo 2 that there is. Otherwise, it is just truly an outstanding experience.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to a little news here. All right. So Pal World is trending again.
Oh boy.
And I don't know if it's for the right or wrong reasons, but Pal World, I feel like, is antagonizing Nintendo because they decided to publish exactly what patents Nintendo was saying they infringed upon and how much money that they are looking to get. So, Gerald, you wanna take this away? You wanna go ahead and cover this one for us?
Well, I mean, I didn't see the article. I mean, as far as how I know, they're just trying to find, as far as in the way that in the battle of PR, they're trying to put out Nintendo as this evil entity. And in recent weeks, we have seen what Nintendo has done. Like, what was it? They went after a streamer because he was streaming some Nintendo games, I think 10 straight Nintendo games. And yeah, so they decided to go after him. Yeah, they've just been really. It's not Christmas time, so I can't use the word Grinch, and we want to keep it clean, so I can't use any of the words I really want to add on it to my friend. But it's they've not been really making friends, and they do everything under the guise of just protecting their IPs. And I'm not sure if that's the case. I think they sometimes go overboard, but again, it doesn't seem to matter because people like whatever they dish out anyways. No matter if they who they go after in lawsuits, no matter they who what other non-necessary stuff that they bring out with Nintendo Music and Alarmo. As soon as they announce Switch 2, everybody will go gaga once again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in terms of like games they put out, people still love them, but it's the same concept with like, Google. I hate Google's a big corporate interest, but yet they still use it when they need to find out like how to
But
bake cookies or something. You know?
it sounds like Pal World, though, okay, we can't meet you up as far as money, dollar for dollar, on fighting this. So we're going to try to fight you in the court of public opinion and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, so here is so the it's funny because the lawsuit is not actually over things that I thought that they would be over. Like I thought it was gonna be about the comparison of the way that the pals look versus the Pokemon. But it's so okay, so there's three patents that they're claiming they infringed upon, and each one Nintendo wants damages of $32,846. That's about 5 millions in per per infringement. And they also want Power World to be taken down immediately. So that's that's the big thing. I have a feeling that if it were just like wanting them to pay damages, they'd be like, fine, you can have the 60 something thousand or 90 something $1,000. It's not a big deal. But I think it's a big deal now that they're asking them to take the game down. So the first patent involves the throwing the ball, right? Throwing the ball and capturing things. And it is so I mean, I guess like Pal World could fix that by changing it to a square or something, or like an oval maybe. But
Mhm.
um, yeah. And then the second patent involves like having having actions pop up on the screen while you're battling creatures, which is weird to me because that seems like something that people have been doing for a long time. And then finally, the third one is the most ridiculous of all of them, is just having creatures walking around a map. If I'm reading these patents correctly, so I might be misinterpreting it. So if I am, feel free to correct me. But yeah, it seems like these are really petty things that Nintendo can't copyright because everybody else is doing them. Like it seems like these are things that shouldn't be patented, maybe.
Yep, I agree with you. They're I think they're overstepping in this case. I think they're overstepping their bounds. I mean, in some cases, I know with the emulators, that they've gone after as far as that, that's concerned. I get it. I don't like it personally, as someone who has used emulators in the past, as someone who wants to play games that are no longer available out there in the public forum. So again, that's they go after you on that. Yeah, that's I think a little bit of overreach, but I can understand why. But yeah, this is just I think this is just a little petty. This is just a little petty. And again, I would still, if I was them, I would say try to lean on the satire. If wherever the court is, they're having this, and if satire is something that is protected under that law of wherever they're having this. Is this based in Japan or is this based in the U.S.? Do you know?
Yeah. Uh, Pocket. What's the company that makes this?
Well, I don't know where the court is being based, where the case is.
It's Japan. Pocket Pair is in Japan.
Okay,
So
okay.
so if you get out your iPhone or whatever, you have a Galaxy, right? Or is
Yeah, I have
that
a Galaxy. Yes, I'm one of
okay?
those. Yes.
No, that's fine because I know on Galaxy you actually play like they have full on like Pokemon Game Boy emulators you can download
Mhm.
straight up that have like
Yes.
Pokemon Red and Green and Blue and stuff. But with if you go on the Apple app marketplace, there's a ton of like things that are exact knockoffs of Pokemon. So they're just like skinned differently. And it's the same thing now. There's even Pal World knockoffs that look just like Pal World, but they're skinned differently. So I
Power World without an O. Power World.
yeah, right. I'm sure it's something crazy like that, but I feel like this would not even be happening if Sony did not buy the rights to sell their merchandise.
I agree.
So
Again,
this all
Nintendo
came
made its
around.
own beast, made its own bed, and sometimes you have to lie in it, but they're trying to fight it for all it's worth. So
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Like I think that now that Sony has an interest in Pal World, I feel like Sony is probably going to help bring some of their lawyers to the table to fight this thing. So I I don't personally I don't think that Nintendo's going to win this one.
okay.
And I think if they do, it kind of sets a dangerous precedence for gaming. What is this? What kind of implications will this have on the gaming, on the gaming world moving forward, as far as being able to patent mechanics like that? Like how, and look at the first person shooter. Like, if the person who made the first person shooter patented that, would we have any first person shooter games out there today?
Agreed. Very much agreed.
So it's kind of ridiculous, and like I'm really hoping it doesn't hold up in court, but
Okay. All right, and I agree with you on that 100%. That it should be upheld. But again, we're not in the courtroom, so we can't really know for sure, my friend, on that. Have I got you
Yeah.
back? Got you back. Okay, looks like I got you back. All right.
All right, cool, man. Okay, so let's get into the big talk here. Is something uh we've been talking about for a while, or you've been talking about, especially. They announced on N7. Okay, first of all, let's talk about that N7 post for a minute. You know the one I'm talking about?
Well, first of all, you have to pick up your ear because I have talked your ear off over the years on a Mass Effect TV show or movie. So you might have to find your ear somewhere on the floor because all the years I've, just whined and moaned and
Ye-
groaned about it. So
yes, you have, and your dream has come true. I want to get to that in just a second. The N7 post, though, like there wasn't a lot of Mass Effect stuff in it. It was more like a sales pitch for Dragon Age: The Veilguard. So I was kind of bummed out about
and
that.
then
What?
also it was in other games. There was Mass Effect clothing and other things like No Man's Sky, I believe, brought back
Yeah.
some stuff. And yeah, I think there was Apex Legends or another game that also had some Mass Effect related stuff. And then of course they put the post, like you said, where they're just focusing on the next Mass Effect and no longer continue anything for Dragon Age. But I'm not sad about that because if it's a 100-hour game, my friend, really, do you need to have any more DLC for it? Seriously? I mean,
No.
Oblivion, I'm still trying to get to all the DLC for Oblivion, and I played over 100 hours of that.
Yeah, no, you don't need any more DLC for it, or any DLC for it. But it would have been nice to at least like get a some fancy artwork again. Always, because I always enjoy looking at those. But yeah, I just not the N7 day announcement I was looking forward to.
Well, the kind of thing that you were probably not mad about, I was mad about because the fact is, yes, go ahead and say what it was going to be, what was announced, but it wasn't announced through Bioware. It was reported conveniently on N7 Day by Variety.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I wonder if they had a deal to be the people that announced that. But yeah, they announced officially that over at Amazon there is a Mass Effect show in development. So we didn't really get a lot more details on that one outside of the fact that it's happening. So
Just a couple of the producers involved, which kind of scared me as I talked to Melinda about it, and I apologize, Melinda, for her ear has been falling off over the years from me whining, moaning, and groaning. So I had to apologize to her on the air for that. But yes, we looked at the individuals involved, and it's so funny, man, because some of the adaptations listed on there kind of make me nervous. Some of the adaptations I think that have been involved with include Ghost in the Shell, Borderlands, Uncharted. Eh. So yeah, there we go.
yeah, but here's the thing, like, I feel like Amazon, like, as a studio, is not going to put their name on something like that. Like, they're not gonna let something bad be released, especially with, how popular and actually a really great show Fallout was. I think that
Yes.
their Amazon is the right studio to handle this. If it was Netflix, then yeah, they definitely put out a flaming turd if
Yes
they had.
and no. I mean, they really showed a lot of love for League of Legends Arcane, which just came out with season 2, and it is getting glowing reviews after. If you remember, I believe it got the Emmy for Best Animated Series, or it was nominated at least for Best Animated Series the year it came out. And season 2, which is for some reason its final season already. I
Yeah.
don't know why that they're only putting 2 seasons, but I know they spent a ton of cash on it, over $200 million on it, Arcane League of Legends. So maybe that's why that they're shutting it out. But yeah, it's coming out to glowing reviews. So I know they pick and choose what they want to put as far as quality into it. I know that there's a lot of stuff that they just put out there that's filler. It reminds me a lot of the old days when you went to the Red Box and saw all those. Hey, I know this movie star. He's a box office star. oh wait, why don't I remember this movie? It's just like, it's one of those movies that they did on a cash grab, like Morgan Freeman or something like that, that they did probably on a weekend or something like that. You're seeing a lot of those from Netflix from time to time, but Netflix, when it puts its mind to it, they don't necessarily have to put out red ones that look like, but they sometimes put out quality stuff, like, especially in the animated field. Animated field, I think they take a lot more seriously than live
Oh,
action
for
stuff.
sure, absolutely, yeah, yeah, but, yeah, like I said, like, with Amazon at the helm, though, I feel like there's gonna be a certain level of quality that has to be met before they put something out, so that's the one thing I am excited about, I think, and Amazon's also scooped up, or not scooped up, but they're putting the God of War show out, so, I mean, Amazon's gonna be a powerhouse of gaming adaptations, and if they're anywhere near as good as what Fallout was, like, it's definitely like this is going to change the game for game to movie or television adaptations for sure.
Well, I've got a little thing I wanted to show you. This is the list according to IGN. I know we reference them a lot, uh, and we are referencing them again. These are the upcoming video game movie adaptations that have been announced in some form or fashion. There's not dates on all these, but you tell me the ones that you think are going to be good and which ones you think are or may not even come out at all. Because, just because it's been announced doesn't mean it'll come to fruition, as we've seen in Hollywood, as you and I have reported on Hollywood. Blade, just to start off with. So, although Kevin Feige did say over the weekend that you will see Mahershala Ali's Blade sometime in the MCU. So
He's been saying that for like the past 5 years though too.
he did say that to Brazil, though. When you're saying it to a country,
You don't lie to Brazil, man.
yes, you don't lie to Brazil, who have become a really pop culture, I guess, it's just stalwart now. Pop, a lot of stuff has happening in Brazil, pop culture wise. But let's get into the video game movies, my friend, in 2024 and beyond. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Will this be the end of the trilogy when it comes out during Christmas time this year?
I don't think so. I mean, I maybe for the mainline Sonic stuff, but I feel like they're probably going to end up doing spin-offs of some of the other Sonic characters as this franchise just makes it makes too much money for them to just let it go dark.
Hmm. I don't
You
I
know,
don't blame you on that one. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. What about the horrific in many ways that I've seen? I've never heard a glowing review yet of it, but then again, it may not be even for our age group. It might be for your daughter's age group, and that is a Minecraft movie coming out in April of 2025.
It looks like hot garbage, and I say that after seeing the footage and the some of the pictures, and then reading about some of the you have these YouTubers complaining about Jason Momoa behind the scenes. Like, I don't think that this is going to be a movie that displays itself very well, and I don't think it's going to have very good publicity leading up to its release.
But if your kids want to go see it, guess what you're going to go see?
I guess we're gonna go see Minecraft the movie.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2. My daughter, my 17-year-old, we saw the first one on first night on Peacock. I wonder if they're going to do the same day and date thing. This was one of the few movies that actually was a huge success, both day and date on Peacock and also as well out there, at the box office. We talked about this at the time, how big a hit it was. We were both surprised that it was that big a hit, and B, that big a hit on both Peacock and box office. What are your guesses? My guess is when it comes out December of next year, which I'm surprised. I would, if I was Universal, I would actually move this up to Halloween time of next year. But it says it December 5th, 2025. I mean, it's going to be out. It's probably going to be the only movie out that comes out at that time of any relevance. But man, Five Nights at Freddy's too. Do you think they'll do that like day and date streaming box office thing again?
I don't think so. I think they'll probably stick to a theatrical release for this. I'm sure it'll come out on streaming, a couple months later, but seeing the success of the first one goes to show you, like, any property that has a cult following, the rules are like the general rules of like streaming versus theatrical, they don't apply because you cannot predict what's going to happen. Especially like Five Nights at Freddy's, a very like niche has a very niche community, and yeah, so it makes sense to me that the streaming and theater would still be, both of them would be very powerful when that movie came out. And actually, like, I didn't hate watching Five Nights at Freddy's. I know we I think we talked about it briefly. It wasn't, in my opinion, it was like a 7 out of 10 maybe, but it was enough to make me want to go watch a second one, I guess.
For my daughter, you know what? Again, I wanted this for my daughter because she loves the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, so she enjoyed it. I thought it was hot garbage. I think if you're thinking Minecraft movie was hot garbage, I know Five Nights at Freddy's for me was hot garbage. But if she wants to see it again and she needs a buddy to go see it with, I'll see it with her because I've already know what's going on. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Before we get to the Nintendo stuff, Street Fighter. I
I
don't know, man. I
there
loved it's so corny, but Raul Julia was so good in that movie, so over the top. Man, it's going to be tough to. I don't know. It's tough to justify Street Fighter as a good movie if you're watching it on a critical level, but it's like one of those bad movies you really enjoy when you talk about Street Fighter. So I don't know. Redoing Street Fighter, bringing out in March of 2026. As of now, I guess so. I guess so, just because it is. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they have had so many failed attempts to make a good Street Fighter movie over the years. Like, they had the Legend of what was it, Chun-Li or whatever, that had the lady from Smallville in it, and then there's a couple others that went straight to DVD after that. They're trying to do what Mortal Kombat did, and I just don't. I like the one from the late '80s, early '90s that had Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, that one was,
That's what Raul Julia. Yeah.
yeah, that one has a very like special place in my heart. But it I just don't see this going well. I think it already has too much of a like too many attempts, too many misfires to really get people interested in I don't know, a modern adaptation of it.
So let's get into the Nintendo ones. Super Mario Brothers Movie 2 coming out April 3rd, right now, 2026, and The Legend of Zelda. I mean, we talked about Nintendo. Nintendo, they may be losing out in the public forum right now, but again, all they have to do is announce a Switch 2 and everybody loves them all over again, and B, Super Mario Brothers Movie 2 or The Legend of Zelda has to come out and everybody loves Nintendo all over again. Not only did Super Mario Brothers movie make a ton of money at the box office, it was on the charts on Netflix forever. I don't see anything less than that. Doesn't matter if the story is good or not. I think people will see it in mass. I think both these two movies are big hits whenever they decide to come out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Super Mario Bros. 2 movie is it's a no brainer. People like there are kids who have watched it over and over and over again that I've talked to when I'm coaching esports at the school. They talk about it, and it's definitely going to do well in whatever form it's released in.
Now we come to some PlayStation ones. The Ghost of Tsushima. I think whenever that comes out, I think that can be something. I think that if done right, I think can be a pretty good watch. Until Dawn, as we saw from the remake, that didn't sell well at all, and I think a lot of people frowned on it. I think unless they make it a low budget horror, I don't know if they'll actually come out with Until Dawn. I think it's one of those that's going to get into production hell. There's another PlayStation property I think that's also probably going to go into production hell here soon as well. But your thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima and Until Dawn?
Ghost of Tsushima, I think, is going to be good. I would rather see it in a stream, like a extended episode form, because there's a lot of story there to shove into like a 2-hour movie. And I think that's one of the things that Uncharted really suffered from. The runtime didn't really give them enough time to tell a good story, so it all felt kind of rushed. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is definitely something that will benefit from an extended amount of time to tell the story. So I mean, I'm gonna go see it regardless because I'm a huge fan of the game. Until Dawn, I don't see anything really happening with that. Same thing with like The Sims. We're looking at that one. I don't see that one being anything of interest to people because the whole point of The Sims is being able to tell your own story. So I don't know where they would end up going with something like that.
Gears of War is one that we had talked about. Dave Bautista was really, really interested in playing Marcus Phoenix. I thought John Cena would have been a good Carmen as far as external, even though he doesn't want to. I think it's already said that he's never wanted to do a movie with another wrestler, including John Cena. But I think that those two would have really done well. I think that Gears of War may still come out at some point in time, but I think they really had their chance on really getting a good cast for it, a notable cast for it. But as Dave Bautista, the John Cena's of the world, they get older and older, they're less likely to do something like this. But I think you can still, if done the right way and done better than what the other major Microsoft property and how that was treated in Halo. I'm looking at you, Paramount. Yeah, I think that Gears of War can still come out at some point in time.
It's gonna be tough, man, because the CGI in Halo was jolting at best. Like when you had the elites on screen or anyone from the Covenant on screen, like there was a clear I don't know, it's just visually you looked at it and it did not look like these two things belonged together. Like there was something about the way that the colors were popped on the Covenant that just in it was hard. It was jolting to watch, I guess. So with Gears of War, like I guess it'd be a little bit easier. They just have to be careful how they do it. I would love to see Sam Worthington play Marcus Phoenix, so that would be really cool. He's got the same
Oh, come on!
yeah, damn ammo, but he's got the same like facial structure as Marcus. So that he's the only person I can see playing Marcus. But
I
yeah, I
thought it
don't
would
know.
have been Bautista for me. I would have gone Bautista. But
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that would be good too. I wonder if they would start at like the Emergence Day or the
E-Day,
Astro
yeah.
Fields E-Day, yeah, or like the Astro Field storyline that kind of led up to how man was
Oh,
fighting each
yes.
other until eventually the grubs showed up. But yeah, I mean, I'm on board for Gears of War. I'll give it a shot.
Mortal Kombat 2, I think that's a no-brainer. I think at some point in time they'll come out with it because they did it in the middle of COVID. It came out and it was, of course, one of those big released hits for Warner Brothers. So I do think they'll go back to it. I think that's going to be given. Whether or not it's a success, that remains to be seen, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely I enjoyed the first one that came out on the one that went straight to Max. Like I thought that was a pretty decent attempt at a Mortal Kombat movie. It doesn't have definitely lacks the charms of the 90s Mortal Kombat, but
It wasn't
anything's
bad.
better. It wasn't bad. Yeah, and anything's better than Annihilation, man. Like, let's just make that movie
Yes.
go away.
Tell me about it. A lot of video game adaptations over the years I would really want to go away. Silent Hill, I don't know. I mean, if they treat it as a low budget horror flick, I could see that happening. But I think that otherwise, that may be in development hell for a while. But yeah, they'd have to treat like Until Dawn. If they make those two on a budget under 20 million or so, then I think they can get proper returns on both those movies.
Yeah. Okay, well, what about Death Stranding? Where do you
Oh,
stand? Oh, sorry. Yeah,
no,
Silent
yeah,
Hill.
no,
So
no.
I would
Go
Okay,
ahead.
well, let me talk about Silent Hill for a minute. Like I did not hate the original adaptations, one with Kit Harington and the one with Sean Bean. Like I enjoyed those. Okay, they weren't great, but Silent Hill is not really like an amazing franchise in itself, though. So you kind of watch it and you kind of understand what you're getting into when you go to the movies to see them.
I mean, Resident Evil is probably something that they compare to often, and if Resident Evil has its limits because we've seen the highs of Resident Evil, as far as the movie franchise gaining a combined over $1 billion. then when Netflix tried to recreate that, or when Sony helped Netflix try to recreate that on Netflix, we were talking about a couple years ago. Yeah,
Yep.
that didn't work out so well.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And Death Stranding is one where
Now on Xbox, by the way,
yes, that's right. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
and Kojima has full control of the IP. Mhm.
I was a smart man, smart man. But yeah, Death Stranding, the game is already a movie, so I mean, I don't know why they have to make an adaptation of it. It's probably one that, unless it got like rave reviews, I probably wouldn't take the time to sit down and watch it.
Oh, with Kojima's imagination. Okay, that's the thing. You would have to go and make it bad bleep crazy as far as that's concerned. Just like Kojima would want it. You'd have to have a director like Guillermo del Toro,
Oh,
or
for sure. Yeah.
yeah, something like that to go in and say, okay, I'm going to create this world, this environment that's just totally abstract. That's, almost unbelievable, but totally just off the wall, but totally what Kojima would have in mind envisioning a Death Stranding movie. We already got the stars for it. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Days Gone is the other movie, or the property from Sony. I think that'll never come to fruition unless you want to make it a low budget zombie horror flick with some bikers.
Yeah,
Uh,
just make another season of Sons of Anarchy and throw some zombies in there, and boom, you got it.
yes. Dredge. Uh, again, I have no opinion either which way on Dredge. Uh, Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2. That was a solid hit. So I'm, obviously it's getting Ryan Reynolds back, paying him enough money. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Stray. I could see that as an animated feature, Stray. But would anybody really want to go see the type of movie as far as, that a stray cat finding his way through the world? And I don't know, haven't we seen that type of movie before and it hasn't done
Yeah,
really well?
yeah, this is true. Yeah, I mean that's probably not one I'd be interested in.
BioShock. What are your thoughts on the BioShock? That's been talked about heavily, and I know at one time Netflix was really on, and now they may be off of it. But your thoughts on the BioShock movie?
It has the potential to be truly terrifying if they really stick to the video games as far as like the backstory goes and like the creation of the big daddies and the kids running around. Like it definitely has the potential to be a truly terrifying show. And it's also another one I feel like would be good to go over to Amazon because it's kind of in that same vein as Fallout is. So they have experience making that kind of show. So I think they'd be probably best suited for it.
Space Channel 5 and Comic Zone. I mean, uh, would 90% of the people going to see these movies would even know they're video game adaptations, my friend?
No, probably not. I mean,
Yeah,
Comic Zone is they're so old.
yeah, I agree. Now here's the video game TV shows. Arcane season 2, which just came out, highly recommended from a lot of people. I tried twice to get into the first season of Arcane. I'm gonna probably have to get into it again. Just for some reason doesn't connect with me, but I appreciate the animation style and again the quality and level. And if people really like it, people should go out of the way to see it. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Last of Us season 2, no doubt. Fallout season 2, no doubt. Witcher season 4 and 5. I haven't asked your thoughts on that yet because it will not be The Witcher we have come to know and appreciate on Netflix.
yeah. So the ending of season 3, I just watched it a couple of months ago. Like it definitely felt rushed.
Mhm.
Um, like there's story to tell, but they pace the episodes oddly. So I'm hoping with season 4 and 5 because the material in the books is actually really good. So I'm willing to give Liam Hemsworth a shot as the Witcher. I hear there's some like weird like world bending explanation for why he looks the way he does. But yeah, I mean I'm willing to sit down and watch it. But I think season 4 is really gonna. I'm wondering if they're filming 4 and 5 back to back because they're afraid if they just put out 4 and it's bad, they're not going to get a chance to shoot 5. So either they've got a lot of confidence in the way it's going to turn out, or they've got no confidence in the way it's going to turn out.
God of War, I think we're both interested, intrigued how they'll perceive that. And of course, we
Hmm.
talked about our side excitement for Mass Effect. Gears of War appears on this list as well, as far as for TV shows. Would you rather see Gears of War as a TV show or a movie?
Probably a TV show. I mean, but that's how I am now. Like, especially with video game stories, I have a lot of story to tell. I would rather see a television show of them as opposed to a movie.
Okay, as long as the special effects hold up, I would rather see it as a TV show as well. Especially like you said, Asphalt Fields. Asphalt Fields going to E Day and going into E Day. You know, as far as while Marcus was jailed, getting out of jail, and starting the events of Gears of War going forward. Yeah, I could say that's probably better if they went from season to season on that as well.
Yeah,
Uh, DMC as an anime.
I'm in. I'm in.
Okay. Okay. Twisted Metal season 2, very under the radar series, by the way. If you didn't get a chance to check it out on Peacock, season 1, season 2, I think again it'd probably be something where it's good, solid,
Yeah.
but it's one of those many Anthony Mackie projects that's not named Captain America that people seem to forget or overlook. Which is I feel bad for him because that's why he works so hard. He's on a lot of projects per year basis these days, but not a lot of them stick. And this is probably one of the higher profile things that still doesn't get out to a large audience because I'm assuming because on Peacock. So there you go.
Yeah, it's one I was meaning to watch it. I just had never had an opportunity to sit down and do it. So it's on my radar for sure. When I will get a chance to check it out is beyond me. But yeah, I'm definitely there's some slight interest for it from me.
Your boy is next. Assassin's Creed. It's a TV show, man.
It
All I ask is please make it make sense. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I
Please make it
mean,
make sense.
TV is definitely a better, or streaming is definitely a better platform for it than the movie. But it's the movie. After watching it several years after it came out, like it definitely holds up a lot better than. I'm less critical of it, especially since it's considered canon. I think it takes place between 3 and 4, but yeah, I mean, I think that a streaming platform is a good place for it if they're especially if they're gonna tell like the Desmond Miles story, or if they're gonna pick up with a new character somewhere else. But I am willing to give it a try.
With the Templars, the Desmond, right? He's in our world as far as in the modern world, and then he goes back and forth. Just make it make sense. That's all I care about.
Yeah,
Say, Splinter
agreed.
Cell.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess
Doesn't
I would
sound like
watch
you're
it
too
just
excited.
to, yeah. Yeah, 'cause I was just thinking like what's his name that plays Jack Ryan, Jim from The Office. Like I think he'd probably be good in the role of was it Sam from
Yeah,
his main character
but
Sam. Yeah,
he's doing a Jack Ryan movie on Amazon. So there you go.
it is. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And Castlevania Nocturne season 2, that one always goes under the radar as far as season 1 is concerned. I heard it's solid. Haven't had a chance to sit down and watch. I'm not a huge Castlevania fan,
Yeah.
although I believe if on either was it Epic or Amazon, you're able to get the Castlevania collection free here in the not too distant future as we're recording this. So please check your Epic Game Store or Amazon if you have a subscription. Amazon free gaming, might be interested to see if you get some
Okay.
free Castlevania.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I know. The seasons are always really short. I think Addy Shanker that makes them that's just the way he tells the stories in a really, very short form. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the original Castlevania show on Netflix, so I'm willing to sit down and watch another season of Nocturne for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's your list, my friend. Again, I'm just so happy that finally officially it's part of it.
Yeah,
Part of it. Mass Effect is
Mass
a part of it.
Effect, man. Yeah, I mean, as more information comes out, we'll keep talking about it. But I mean, do you have any expectations for it, or are you just kind of letting the chips fall where they may?
Man, I'm just hoping it's good. I'm just hoping it's good, and they tell the story in a right way. I am very suspicious. Again, a couple of the producers involved, they don't have even though they have a track record with Marvel projects and other well-known projects, they do when they've dipped over their toes in the water in video game adaptations, it's not been good. So I have my concerns, my friend. but it's being made, so I guess beggars can't be choosers by this point.
Yeah, definitely. But hey, it like you said, it's happening. We'll see how it happens, when it happens, where it happens. But we can't complain, man. It's a dream come true.
Oh, yeah. So Epic Store. So when are you putting this out, man? What day do you think?
On I try to shoot for Wednesdays usually for
All right.
episodes.
Well, that'll come in time because if it's on the 14th of November, people listening to this, Epic Game Store is offering Castlevania Anniversary Collection for free, which includes 8 classic games.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
So there you go. That's what I was trying to get for you guys. Yeah, that'll be only available for a week from 14th to 21st. So there you go. Don't
Yeah,
say I didn't do anything for you out there, Super BS Gamescast fans.
that's right. Gerald's the gift that keeps on giving to everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, man. You got any closing thoughts? I think we did a pretty solid run here.
I mean, the walk down memory lane for Halo 2. Do you want to see like? Okay, I know people are talking about Halo as far as being remade, or and Halo 2 being remade. I would just want to say, if I was walking to Microsoft now and say, okay, I want you to remake Oblivion, but I just want you to remake the entire Halo collection, the Master Chief collection, do it all, remake it all, put it all available on 4K, running 120 frames per second, blah, 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 blah. Just make them all good. Put them all out. The ODSTs, the Halo Reaches, everything out. Make it all. Put a nice shiny new coat on all of them, not just one or two. And if you want to put it on PlayStation at this point in time, I'm not going to argue with you anymore. Just go ahead and do it. But yes, if it brings, don't just do one in a fancy new coat. Do it all. Because the way that the Master Chief collection, it came out with so many problems. And I have the Master Chief collection. It came out with so many problems, it kind of deterred me from staying with it. Make it nice this time. Really make it nice this time. Make it right and put it out there and show people why that Halo isn't a disaster after all. There is still, I think, life left in the IP for Halo.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I would love to see online co-op added to Halo 1 and 2, and 4-player co-op to boots, because I've been trying to like have my kids experience those games with me, but they have to keep alternating controllers and it's never a good time. So I would love to be able to play with both my older daughters on Halo at one time without having to do that, because I think that would be fantastic.
It would. That's great. Anytime that you get to spend with your kids, enjoying what you loved for so many years,
Mm-hmm.
I find a real reward out of it myself with my girls as well.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, there's been another episode of the Super BS Gamescast. Hopefully next week we'll have Brank back.
Do you think he'll be mad at us for doing a show without him?
Ooh, I don't know. He's not here to complain about it, so I don't know, man. But we miss you, man. We miss you. But all right, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Super BS.